Hey Andy. Hey, what's
Hello.
up, man?
How are
Can you,
you?
I'm doing good, man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hey, fine.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for jumping on, dude. Um, all right, man. So you launch products and you program software and stuff. So about a year ago, I was kind of like seeing the landscape of Warrior Plus change a little bit, and like I was like, man, I want to try to get into this software game a little bit, but I'm not a programmer. So um, I reached out to Ken Bluntman, a guy you might already know, and I said, well, look, man, I'm interested in maybe hiring you to create a program for me. I got a couple ideas for programs, and I'm looking for a programmer to kind of work with, and he was more interested in partnering with me than being hired by me because he
Right.
wanted to. I guess he had ambitions to get into launching products or whatever. So I said, okay, well, I'm open to that. So we had a few talks, and we figured out some agreements, and I'll show you what we ended up. I'll show you the agreement we ended up with, right? I'll show this to you. This all ties into the story. I'll try to get to the point as fast as
That's right. That's
possible.
right.
Um,
Alarm bells are already ringing the minute you mention that name,
really, so yeah, so I didn't
and
know
I'll and
about
I'll,
that.
I'll tell you why in a minute.
Man, it's crazy, dude. I can't even believe it. Man, I'm too trusting or something. But, anyways, yeah. I'll show you what. So this is Let me see if I can find this agreement. Let's see. All right. So we signed this. We both signed this agreement. Um, Basically, I wanted to create this. I had this idea, this concept. I wanted to create a meme generator. Like I wanted to. I wanted to be able to take random motivational pictures and random funny pictures and like match them up with random funny quotes and random motivational quotes. And I felt like if I had a piece of software that could just randomly do this, they'd probably work out pretty good. Because I tested it a few times, just putting random quotes with random pictures, and it kind of worked out. Um, so I thought I needed someone smarter than me that could program to put this together, and we could create like packs of memes, and we could actually put a license with them, and it would just be like ready-made products almost. Here's
Hmm.
a package of memes or whatever, and but I needed a programmer to work with, so we ended up coming to this agreement, right? And it was called Memes to Go, and we got pretty far along with it. Um, and you can see this contract. It was it's basically saying, it's a product that was conceived, and the ideas were mine, and he handled the programming aspects of it. Memes to
Hmm.
Go was conceived by Cam Jennings, software created by Kim Blutman. It kind of goes on and stuff like this. And so anyways, so we had this like contract, and so anyways, let me get off this little stupid thing. But so dude, so what happened was it turns out the funny memes are very hard to randomly generate. It's you know the funny memes are like tricky, man. It's a puzzle
Hmm.
to try to. It's not as easy as it might sound to take a
Sure.
funny quote, and put it with just some random image.
Yeah.
The
Whereas the
closest,
motivational ones are a bit easier, I would imagine, because
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you find any picture of someone standing like that, or
exactly,
some nice scenic thing, and you can whack anything on it.
exactly, man, exactly. And so like the closest I could get was like, just pictures of like funny like animals, like cows or cats or whatever. They're just kind of weird, funny looks on their faces, and you know, I could kind of put them with funny quotes, and if the quotes weren't too specific to like Donald Trump or something specific, then it could kind of make sense, but it wasn't like making sense enough to where it was really ready to sell to customers. And I'd done a lot of research on it. I actually interviewed Aiden Corkery, who had just put out a product at this time on memes and stuff.
Pretty I remember that product.
Yeah. So I interviewed him. I thought that'd be a good little addition to the download page, like some extra like kind of training and stuff for people. And but the thing was, all the research I was doing was telling me that funny this is how people really drive traffic, is with the funny memes, not really with the motivational. Aiden's telling me that. Other people are telling me that they're having a lot of luck. The people who are using memes to drive traffic, they're getting a lot of their traction from the funny memes. So for me, this is a problem that has to be fixed, right? We can't move forward with this project. We have to get the funny ones working, because the way I conceived it was, there was a funny category. If you're a customer, you buy this product, you can select how many memes you want it to spit out, and then you can select funny or motivational, right? And then the problem was the funny category really wasn't working. So, Ken kind of wanted to just move forward with the motivational. Let's just do what we got. We got it. It's working for this. And I was like, no, man, it's not like a win-win kind of situation. It's just kind of a money grab in that kind of a situation. Like, we need the funny ones to be able to work, So when I kind of took that stance, he kind of started, you could kind of tell he was kind of cooling off of the project and kind of, so I kind of felt like, well, he's cooling off. So I feel like I'm just going to try to, put this on hold for a while and maybe find another programmer at some other point to do it. So I scrapped the project, and I was like, look, man, you know what? This is not going to work out right now. So you got other stuff you're trying to do. I got other stuff I can do. So we'll come back to it at another point. But I curated all those pictures for that project, all the pictures in the software, all the quotes. That was all of me. Like, the whole idea was mine. Right. Like, it was all me. I just needed someone who's smart enough to program it. Anyway, so whatever. So that was about a year ago. And then a couple days ago, I haven't really thought a lot about it. But a couple days ago, I see him on Facebook, like running these little tests on memes and stuff, right? Like, what do you guys think of this color or that color or whatever? And there's like these motivational memes, and I'm like, hold up for a second here. What's going on here? So then I go over to Munch High, and sure enough, man.
He's got, has he? Jeez.
Yeah, he's going to launch it on the 12th. Social, it's not memes to go anymore, though. He's like changed the name. Now it's social quotes, something or other, some kind of thing. So I don't know, man. Anyways, we had a few, well, I posted a general post on Facebook talking about, hey, man, if you guys are going to work with programmers, you need to make sure you get them to sign up.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have been smart enough to do that, back in the day, but I didn't. So, but he saw that, because of course what happened was everybody started saying, what happened, dude? What happened? What's going on? I didn't want to say
it. They all like a bit of muck, don't they?
That's all it is, man. Yeah. I was just trying to be helpful. I was just trying to be like, hey, man, I know what kind of time we're in now, and software is hot. Make sure, you get this stuff together, man, or you're going to be sorry. But yeah, like you said, man, people just wanted to know what's the deal, man. So
yeah, dish the dirt, yeah.
I wasn't saying what the deal was, but like Ken, he saw that post that I did, and of course in his mind he's like, oh, I got to damage control this situation. So he responds to it. He sees all them people asking what happened, and I'm thinking that, like, in his mind, he's thinking I'm like reaching out to him all privately, telling him this big drama story or something. But I wasn't doing that, I was just like, it was like educational, and so he like gets on there and he's like, Cam's mad at me because he thinks I took something from him, but that's not what happened. And maybe I'll get on here and make a video later and start some FB drama or something like that. And I was like, I updated the post and I was like, hey man, you should be reaching out to me. Certain people in my comment section should be reaching out to me privately to try to clear things up instead of commenting on this post. This is like personal business, And so then he reached out to me privately and was like, yeah, good. That was an interesting point. I deleted my comment, like that, And I was like, yeah, man, I made that a general post and I didn't mention your name because I wanted to leave room for you to like clear up any kind of misunderstandings, because what it looks like you're taking a project that I came to you with and we both put a lot of work into, and it looks like you're just trying to like go ahead and just launch that by yourself and just go with what we got and like go for a money grab. And he didn't respond. It's like radio silence. He hasn't talked to me since. So now I'm kind of like, this is where it gets really weird. All right. So when I posted that, right, and then we had that little back and forth, somebody else saw that post, a lady named Amber J-Link.
I was about to say, the reason why alarm bells went off for me when you said Ken Bluntman was I know what happened between her and Ken.
And she told me that, man. And I was like, this is crazy, man. That makes me think that, like, is anything this dude doing even belonging to him? I mean, like, if he stole from her and now he's trying to, like, steal from me, like, is that puzzle thing that he did, is that even his? It's probably not. It's probably somebody else's, too.
Could well be, yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I guess I talked to 3 people about this, right? Barb, and I talked to Michael Lance. I talked to him this morning about it, and I'm not talking to you about it. And not because like, when I talked to Mike, it wasn't like, oh man, I want you to get this guy in trouble. It's just, I know like he owns Warrior Plus and he deals with all kinds of programmers and developers, and he also deals with all kinds of product launchers. So I thought, I want to know what you would do if you were in my shoes. Like, how would you handle this kind of a situation? And I guess that's why I was telling you too, man, because I want to know how you would handle the situation. What would you do? I kind of, I feel like I kind of know what you would do, but I really, hell, I don't got a crystal ball. I just want to, what.
Sure. If I was sure I had all the evidence in my favor,
right,
I would just call him out. But that's how I roll. But I know people sort of say to me, "Oh, you're fearless about calling people out." I always make sure I have got the evidence and then some, because that way, if it starts getting nasty, you've just got everything in place.
Right.
I never enter one of those battles unless I'm 100% sure I'm going to come out looking all right, and they're going to come out. It's going to come out looking how it really is.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I've backed down and gone, oh, it's just not worth the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. But you see, when I heard the story from Amber a little while ago, because she posted and she didn't mention any names. She told the story in a private Facebook group, and then I was chatting to her because she uses one of my development tools to build stuff with.
Yeah, she told me that too.
Yeah, so I was sort of giving her some ideas and giving a bit of feedback and whatever. And in the end, she told me who it was. And I think she told me because I mentioned the guy somewhere else going, oh, this guy's got something that does that or something like that. And she went and she private messaged me and went, that's the guy that ripped me off. And I went, oh, now I know that. I'm not going to, go around pushing his stuff. Yeah. But I obviously didn't know the full story. I'd only heard what she'd said.
Right.
Ken Bluntman turned up one Friday night on the IM pub, and I didn't want to challenge him outright because Amber had told me in confidence. So I didn't really want to say anything.
Right.
But I we kept bouncing conversations around the whole journals thing and seeing what he was saying, and everything he said led me to believe that everything Amber had told me was true.
Yeah.
Without him, and so, it was just like, yeah, it doesn't sound. And the problem is, like, if I'd been Amber, I probably would have said something, because otherwise people are going to keep getting ripped off by
getting
it. People are going to keep going to him for coding stuff, and he's going to rip the idea off and run with it.
Yeah.
If this is the second time he's done it, it definitely won't be the last. One time I could kind of go, well, there's a misunderstanding, maybe it wasn't really clear, maybe, and I also know, with all no disrespect to Amber at all, she can be a bit flaky on projects.
Sure.
So a project can get announced and then just drag on and come to nothing, and I thought, well, maybe that's happened there. Maybe they've had some differences. She hasn't done her side. He's, and I've had projects where that's happened, where I've worked with someone and they've not done their side of it, and I've got to the end of it and I've done 80% of the work and I'm ready to go and I'm waiting on their bit, and then I'm like, well, we've got to do something. It's good. I'm not going to have done that work and throw it away.
Yeah.
But I would normally work with the person as much as I could in that situation.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, try and get them just to walk away and go, okay, you can have it, do what you want, or whatever.
Sure. Makes sense.
Whereas he's just going, well, I'll just take that and do it.
Yeah,
and like I say, I didn't know so with Amber, I didn't know 100%. I heard her side of the story. I never heard his, because I couldn't ask him directly because I'd heard it in confidence. So I kind of learned, okay, we'll just make Ken Bluntman put a little note there to keep an eye on him. So when I jump on here with you and you went Ken Bluntman, I was like, well, fuck me, there it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what happened, man. And when it was just me dealing with it, I was like, man, well, you little son of a bitch, man. And I was just kind of like, all right, I see how this is, but I'm just kind of like, all right, well, this is my fault because I didn't get the NDA signed. I didn't get this stuff signed before I started telling you about the project and before I started working with you. That's just me being ignorant. So it's on me. But then when Amber came to me and was telling me her story, then I started feeling like, I don't know, like maybe I had more responsibility to come out with it, because it wasn't like I could take it on, but like I didn't feel right necessarily, like just not say anything when I know it's happened before. It happened to me. It's happening to me right now. It's probably going to happen again, is what I'm thinking, So I don't know, man.
It's a shame when people act like that, because I've worked with lots of people in my time doing this, and I can honestly say I've never gone into written contracts with anyone. I just don't do contracts. I'm just and sometimes that's stung me in the arse. And other times equally, it's meant I was able to walk away if I really hated the way something was going.
Yeah.
But in those cases, I went, look, you can have all the work I've done. I'm just not interested anymore. I just can't do this. You can do it. You can run with it. So, and then 9 times out of 10, they don't, because they don't have, any real passion for it. So it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but if he's doing that sort of thing, and it's now the second time, it won't be the last. He's clearly a guy that can code, but he lacks creativity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. It's like, he's not when I first started talking to him, he had never launched a product before, and he said he had this puzzle thing he was kind of like trying to figure out, and I don't know, man. I think everything's just copy, dude. I just think everything, like nothing came from up here. It's all just like, oh, I see. Let me see if I can take what you're doing and just boom, put it out, But
you see, I mean, in some cases, I think it's okay to say, well, look, there's puzzle software out there. What can I do to make it better? And do something
absolutely.
on your own. But what you don't do is have someone come to you and say, There's puzzle software. There could be something better, and then just an exact idea. That's not on.
Yeah.
You know, there should at least be some crediting or some discussion or some whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
man.
I've bounced ideas around with people, and then somebody has sort of looked up in the conversation and gone, "I'd really like to do that," and I'll just go, "Do it then," because I'm not fussed. If you want to do it, you go do it. But that's different. If you actually set out from the start with this is going to be a partnership, and something happens, like in that situation where you couldn't agree, what should have happened is Ken should have gone, well, look, I really want to do the motivational one, just as it is. I've done the code. I'd really like to make use of it and get it out there.
Right.
Can we come to some arrangement?
Yeah.
And then you go, exactly. And you might just go, yeah, just fucking do it. Or you might go, yeah, cut me in for 10% or cut me in for a little bit, but you do everything now. You take it, you run with it, and you know.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. That would have been fine. I wouldn't have really cared. I just would have been like, that's fine. I just, I'm not gonna roll with it because I don't feel like that's what it needs to be. It wouldn't have bothered me, but like, I don't know, this just feels different. It just feels kind of like, I don't know, just more.
It's like he's gone behind your back. He hasn't told you that's his intention, and just very quietly stuck the launch on Munch Eye.
Yeah.
Hopes no one will notice, or hope you won't notice.
Just make a cool 50K on this one and keep on rolling. Cause I'm not gonna notice. Like, I'm not gonna notice you just launched, and I know it'll probably be pretty good. Like, because I know that, like, I know that the customers aren't gonna realize that it's not gonna work. Like, they're gonna be like, "Ooh, instant products," because I taught him all that shit. I'm the one who told him this is how it's got to be. This is what's got to happen. No, not 6 categories. We're gonna take it. It's got to be as simple as possible, dude. I'm talking. It needs to be push button, like black. The customer hits a button, makes like 1 or 2 selections. Because his thing was he was trying to put all these options in, and I was like, no, dude, all these options need to disappear, man. It's got to be more like easy for people.
Well, let's face it, the Warrior Plus crowd. That's what they buy. They buy push button.
Yeah, it's got to be easy.
Shit.
And look, the way it is now, the way we had it. I know they're gonna eat it up. You know what I mean? As long as, I don't know, his copy kind of sucks, but like, if he can get someone else to do the copy for him or whatever, I don't know, man. It doesn't really matter. I guess it doesn't matter either way. I guess I just feel kind of like, man, this dude is a thief, man. This is a big old thief.
He is, but the thing is, he will, whether you go public on it or you don't, word will get out that he's a thief. He already is, I'd had that. Amber eventually tipped me off, but said, "Oh, promise you won't tell anyone," sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, he's one to watch, and I've been kind of keeping an eye, because like I say, he turned up in the Iron Pub one Friday night, and the one thing I like about the Iron Pub on a Friday night, we don't record those sessions at all. People can come on, have a laugh. We sometimes get wasted. We sometimes talk marketing, we sometimes don't. But the one thing you got there with that core of people that come in is this sort of mutual respect that if someone comes up with an idea, no one's going to rip you off. You know, you can talk openly, and if someone wants to take it and run, they'll ask, and you just go, "Well, yeah, go for it," or whatever. It's very, very. And when he came on that night, I was very guarded with what I said because I was just I'm just sat there thinking, I'm not going to say a word on anything that he can take and use because I know he ain't going to ask.
Man, this the whole thing has floored me, dude. Because like I guess I'm just a bad judge of character, man. Because he just didn't seem like that kind of dude to me.
No, he comes across as a really nice guy. And like I said to you, even when Amber told me her story, and then later on told me it was him, I was like, well, okay, I can't. It wasn't my place to do anything anyway. But even then, I didn't go, okay, he's a bad one. I don't know his side of the story. I know hers. He seems okay to me. I'm going to just keep chatting to him friendly like I do, and which is what I've done. And now, sure enough, these things always come out? And I'm just having a look on Muncheye now because I want to look at his thing.
Yeah, it's on December 12th is when it's scheduled to launch. So
that makes
I
it easier.
hope it flops, man. I'll feel a lot better about it if it flops. And if it does really, really good, then I'm gonna feel like a real idiot.
Well, let's have a look. It's so instant social quotes. Well, that's a bit odd. Muncheye's messing up. I clicked on it and it reckons the launch date is. Oh yeah, no, it's right now, 12th December. Click on the JV. The JV page isn't even working though.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's kind of. I think people are just like posting stuff on Muncheye. They don't even have anything ready. They're just grabbing the dates, you know. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess what I'll do is I'll just, after talking to all you guys, I'll just I don't know, man. Maybe I should just. Sometimes I think I can get like come across as the person who just overreacts on stuff and just like jumps the gun or whatever. Like I don't want to be like that. I just want to, you know. I think I'm gonna go like educational on it and just like release like a blog post or something that maybe tells the story but doesn't like call anybody out. It's just more like a hey, listen, if you're gonna work with a programmer, I mean, you should get this.
You know what you could do? You could do that. You could not mention him by name. You could describe in detail what the product is.
Yeah.
You could take your PDF document and black his name out wherever it appears.
That's a good idea, man.
That's redacted and put that in the post. Then that way they see that there was that agreement you were talking about. So people will work out for themselves what it is without you ever saying. And you can say in your post then, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not here to name and shame. I'm here just to warn people that some people out there will take your ideas and run with them and whatever else. This is what happened. Tell the whole story. People will go and look on Muncheye and go, well, what's coming out that's a bit like that? And they're going to see instant social quotes. Well, it must be that. There's nothing else on there it could be. And people will know who it is without you saying. So you don't come across as being the bad guy that way.
Yeah, man. That's pretty good, dude. I might have to do that way because, you know, because I feel like most people are, well, not most people. I think that people are going to see that ethically it is wrong, but like legally it's within his rights to do so. So that's the way it feels to me, you know?
That's always the difficulty, isn't it? There's always a point where the letter of the law, but.
So if that's the case, then what's going to happen if I call him out? Is this going to be a bunch of dumb drama that doesn't really result in anything?
Right.
If he's within his legal rights, I guess maybe I discredit the guy a little bit. But whatever, man. How many Billy Dars are out there? Just like,
exactly. And they're all doing business still. You know?
They're all doing business still, man. It doesn't even matter. So it's kind of like, you know, and then like how much time and energy, like you were saying this before, but like how much time and energy do you want to put into this project that is not going to make you any money? It's just going to be
no, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I think your answer there on. Hang on, let me just get rid of that a second. I'm on a call at the moment. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think if you go for making it educational as a blog post, you put everything up, redact his name out of it. Do it in that. People will work out who it is.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But it means, at least it means that the people that work out who it is won't fall for going and working with the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
absolutely.
you know, if it's the second time in what? I mean, I heard about Amber Singh about 5 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And me and him were working about 12 months ago. So
it's two projects he's done it on. That's crap, isn't it?
It'll happen again, man. You know it'll happen again. It probably happened the first time. That puzzle generating software did over 100,000, and it was probably happening on that one too, man. It's probably.
Could one have done? I mean, there was a lot of existing stuff out there for puzzles.
Yeah. So, oh well, whatever. Yeah, man, that's really good advice, dude. I think that's the way it's gonna be. That way, I can just throw it out there and I'll just move on with my stuff and not worry
Well,
about it.
it means you get something useful out of it, because you'll get an educational blog post that people will love, a good bit of content.
Yeah,
You will indirectly, people will figure out for themselves who it is without you ever saying, which means that they'll be more guarded and careful.
yeah,
And on top of that, he'll see it too. And, you know, well, what conclusion can he come to? Yes, I've been a bit of a cunt.
yeah.
Is the only conclusion he can come to, when it really, that is all, you know. So
Yeah.
he's gonna be one. I'm gonna keep my eye even closer on that dude now.
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful with that cat, man. He'll take something and run with it if he can, you know, real sneaky.
Because I know Amber tried to rush her product out, and
that's what she told me.
And I said to her at the time, I don't think that's a solution. I said, don't worry that his is coming out first, or his is, you know. And then when it came out, I took a look at it, and I just went, well, it doesn't solve any problem. His product, in fact, I wrote a post on Society. Let me find the post I wrote. Because I saw it when it came out.
Right.
And I left a comment in there. I've just seen the sales page for Ken Bluntman's latest low content machine. I like Ken, because at the time I didn't know that he was.
Sure.
But seriously, I could see 0 point to it. Being able to create multiple pages the same can be done with a macro in Word. And you know, there's 100 different ways that you can effectively do what it did. He took the smallest part of the problem and solved it, but didn't solve any of the rest of it. Mm-mm. And I was like, what's the point in solving the one piece that everyone can solve on their own? There isn't.
Well, if you think about it, man, if you look at his body of work, like there's no consistency to it. Like it's all over the place. So it's like, okay, it's almost like those ideas came from different people, because it's like, wait a minute, hold up. You went from Kindle puzzle generator to, to low content creator to meme generator to like you're all over the place. So it's like, okay, all right. Yeah. It's almost like, I mean, that doesn't really prove anything. I mean, I guess a lot of people do stuff like that, but I don't know. I just, whatever. It's annoying, man.
You know what will happen though, if you write that blog post or whatever and you do it right, so that you're not directly calling him out, but people can figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyone that he's ripped off, they'll reach out to you and tell you.
Yeah.
And then you'll know. Then you'll know who else he's done it to.
Dude, can you imagine if some Joe Schmo comes and is like, yeah, man, I was working with him on my puzzle generator, and then boom, 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 and like he started backing off, and then blap, 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 and it's like, oh my god, dude!
It wouldn't surprise me.
This guy's a monster, man.
Yeah.
Just kind of preying on people who don't really know enough to, like, you know, whatever, have agreements signed and stuff like that. I'm out of my element with software, so I probably didn't have no business swimming around in that anyways. But I felt like I had a few ideas that could, you know, help people, but they kind of needed to be in software form, and I felt like they would make more money in software form anyways. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I don't really want to be a programmer, and
I would say that if you want to get into doing something on the software side, I mean, there's always the issue of support, but by far the best way of outsourcing software is using people per hour, because you effectively you post the job, and it's got to, now the danger is obviously you're putting the description of it out there, and people can just read the description and go, that's a good idea, and nick it. But that doesn't generally happen. Yeah. And normally on there, the people will come back, you'll get your quotes, you'll work with someone, and you know, I mean, there's things to watch out for, but on the whole, as long as you've checked out the person's got a good track record, you're going to get it. And then once you find a good developer, just keep working with the same person as much as possible, because, you know, there are hundreds of programmers out there that are that they can't market to save their lives. They haven't got a clue.
What's a good?
I used to be one of them. I used to be a coder that didn't know how to market, and that was why I got into marketing, because I was watching other people get very rich off my creations because they knew how to market better than I did.
What do you think is a good hourly rate? Because that was the issue I had a couple years ago when I was trying to find someone to have some software developed. Was I was getting a lot of inconsistencies with quotes on.
I always work on a per job basis with people.
Okay, gotcha.
When I've had stuff done. I mean, now I've got an in-house coder, so it's a bit different. But because luckily my stepson decided he wanted to learn coding, and I went, okay, do this course, do that, and if you can learn how to do this, this, and this, I will give you so much work that you'll never need to worry about where it's coming from, sort of thing.
That's awesome.
And that's what he does. He just codes for me, and he does a couple of other jobs here and there, but on the whole, he codes just for me. But before that, it would be, I would put out the job description. You get the people to respond initially. You reach out to them and give them. I would give most of the detail in the post, but be a bit hazy so that they would have to contact you. They'd have to go, yeah, I've had experience of this, and then you go, okay, this is a full spec of the thing. Yeah. And then I would just ask them to come up with a timescale and a price for the completed project.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because to me, I don't care how many hours it fucking takes you to write it. I want to know that product's done. I know what I can sell it for. I know how many I can sell. So now I've got to look at what the cost is to see, how much potential profit there is in it and everything else.
Yeah.
And so that's always how I've worked with contract stuff. Even now when I get stuff content written, and it's always the girl I use in Canada writes, she does it by so many words. It's like 8,000 words is this price. But so I just go, I want a book on this title, make it about 8,000 to 10,000 words. And she'll go, okay. So she knows that basically if I say that, she can write anywhere between 8 and 10,000, because with writing, you don't always know exactly where it's going to finish. And what I don't want is her getting to 8,000 and going, oh, just wrap it up there. And it doesn't feel complete.
Yeah.
So give her that leeway. So she knows that I'm happy to pay anywhere for the rate that's anywhere falls between 8 and 10,000 words. And when it's done, she just she tells me how much it is, and I pay her. I mean, it's
nice,
dead easy. But again, that's for a completed project. It's never all these people that go, oh, I charge so much an hour. I can't work with you, because how do I know how much work you can do in an hour?
Right.
You might be the slowest coder on the planet.
It's going to cost you $1 million, man.
Yeah, or you might be like Ben, who I go to Ben and go, I need this doing, and he goes, done it. It's like, so, Ben just, I've got Ben on retainer, so I pay him a fixed amount every month regardless, and that's where that's on the months I have no work for him. On the months I have loads of work for it, doesn't matter. And then on top of that, if there's anything over and above, I pay him extra for. But that's generally speaking, it's just a nice arrangement, and that's how I try and work with everybody anyway. So I would do it on a per job. Put the job out there, say I want a price for the completed job. Now you have to be very specific in your spec to them, because obviously if you want to change that spec partway through, then you can expect to pay a bit more because they're having to deviate off what they said originally. But if you've got it all nailed down, and you can do that in the back and forth to begin with, you pretty much know there's not going to be any surprises.
That's pretty cool, man. I like that. What is like, and I don't, it's okay if you don't want to answer this, but what is like a reasonable amount to pay for a programming job? Like, do you think, as far as like, okay, I want to have this piece of, programming, this software, done. It does this simple job of whatever, and what is like because it's weird, because like I would have like a couple years ago, I would ask people this same question about, can you do this? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And it'll be $500 or whatever. And then like, let me get a second, opinion on this. And then yeah, we can do that. We can do that. It'll be 5,000. And so it's like, wait a minute, hold up. These guys over here are doing it for 500. You're doing it for 5,000. Like, I don't think I know enough about the situation. Like, what's going on? Are you too cheap because you don't know what you're doing? Are you trying to rip me off
Do you
because?
know? No, I don't think anyone's trying to rip you off. I just think some people genuinely value their time more than others,
Okay, gotcha.
and know they can charge more. Now, in the case of, I mean, I'll tell you now, the cheapest coders are nearly always from India, or places like that, places where, you know, when they exchange US dollars for their local currency, that's like a fuck ton of money to them.
Yeah.
So the cheapest coders normally come from those places. But equally, some of the worst coders come from those places as well. And that's why I say you need to look at what their track record is and what their history on delivery is and stuff like that.
Okay.
I've seen people get burnt because a friend of mine got this coder in India and he was getting this work done, and the coder was like, well, I want half the money up front, and he did it. And when he told me he paid, I went, you're never going to see that. You will never fucking see that. I don't pay them anything till it's done, and if it's the first time I dealt with them, the money's held in escrow, so it's pretty
Now
safe.
that's smart, man. That makes a lot of sense.
And sites like People Per Hour, Upwork, all those kind of things normally have, you know, escrow type deals in play. And
Yeah.
yes, there's a fee involved with the escrow. And normally what I would do, the coders would be reluctant because they go, oh, but the escrow fee. So I go, I'll cover the escrow fee. Because at
Nice.
the end of the day, it's protecting my money. And the worst case, I go, well, worst case scenario, you don't deliver, I'm going to lose $100 on an escrow fee,
Right.
rather than I'm going to lose $600, $1,000, or whatever it would happen to be.
Exactly.
And as for prices, I mean, I've had some bargains, I've had some things that have been overpriced, but if you put the job on there, the nice thing is the competitive nature of the marketplace generally gets you a range of prices, and you talk to the people, and it becomes really apparent. Go with your gut instinct. When you're talking to someone who's offering it really cheap and something just doesn't ring true, it just walk away.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's really, I've had plugins written for $200-300 that I've gone on to sell thousands of dollars worth. So at the end of the day, you know what you're going to be able to make out of it. So you'll have in your mind an upper and a lower limit anyway, and then get your prices and see what can be done, and you know, and keep an eye on there. The other thing I've learned with outsourcers is never to take the deadlines they give you and use them. I will normally say, right, okay, how long to do that? And if they tell me I can have that done for you in a month's time, so 4 weeks, in my head I triple it.
Okay.
And I go, right, okay, I'm gonna allow 3 months for that. Now what happens then is if they are delayed, they'll come back, because they always come back to you. I've run into problems. I've had a personal emergency. And you don't know, it might be bullshit, it might be the truth, it might be, who cares? At the end of the day, you don't have your product. So by, like, the writer I use in Canada, she's always late. It just makes me laugh. When I book her, she gives me a date, and in my head, I just go, okay, I'll add 3 weeks to that date, and then I know I'm safe. And I've joked with Kurt about it. I said, oh, I've just put another thing in. I said, she told me this date, so it will be done by this date. And in nearly every case, I'm pretty much spot on, because she will normally come back with an excuse or two to need an extra week or two. So I've allowed 3, so that's fine. And it's just easier then you don't have to get all pissy with them and get into conflict over it. Yeah. If you just quietly go, I'll allow a bit longer. I mean, I'll still push it. I'll still say, come on, where is it? It was meant to be here by now. What's going on? But at least I haven't gone on Muncheye or whatever and announced it and, you know, told everyone it's coming out. I won't write the sales copy and put the JV stuff together until I've got the product in my hands and it's working.
That's good advice, man. That makes a lot of sense.
If you're using outsourcers, you have to, because it's out of your control.
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing that you do, man, that I really like is I like that like you create software or have it created, and but then you'll still circle back around to the occasional information product. Like, you'll still put out information products. Like, a lot of software guys, like, they just latch onto it and go. You know what I mean? They're not going to do any.
I think it's because of my background. I was a coder. I was sort of into coding first, And then I got into selling that stuff online, so I had to learn how to sell it. So I did that, but then what was happening was people were saying to me, "How are you selling that? How are you doing what you're doing?"
Yeah.
And I go, "Well, you do this and this," and then they go, "Well, explain that. I want to know how." So I started putting together training products, and that's how I ended up doing the whole MMO thing.
Right.
And then it was Adam Jackson that said to me one day, "Oh, have you seen the stuff, the special offers on the Warrior Forum?" And I went, "No, I don't ever go on there." And he went, "You ought to go and check it out." He says, "I reckon you could write software that those people would lap up." And I did, and they did, and it went really well. And then I thought, well, what else can I do on here? And so I just started, and basically just anything that I felt I could teach or had experience in or could provide value in, I did. So I do combination of information, software, sometimes a combination of the two. But I like, my whole philosophy now is everything I do is stuff that I enjoy doing.
That's cool, man.
It's not about the money for me now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the money, but for me, having the flexibility that I have to take time out with the family and go and do stuff and whatever, that means more to me than anything. So anything I do, I have to enjoy. And then it doesn't feel like I'm working anymore. I come into my office and I'm like, "Hey, what I'm doing today, this is fun. It's always fun." And when I get something I don't want to do, I go, right, how can I eliminate that from my business? And then I work out how to outsource it or how to ditch it or how to whatever. So I stopped doing WordPress stuff because that became just a support headache. And I tried outsourcing the support and the outsourcers were shit. So I stopped doing that.
Basically, every time
info products
updates, you got to update it, don't you? So
yeah, exactly. So I steer away from that. So I tend, but everything I do is sort of kind of fun. So dude, I'm like,
that freaking Easy Affiliate Playbook was converting like crazy, man. I was like, people love this thing, man. And I thought it was funny because well, I wanted to ask you what did you like attribute that to? Why do you think people liked it so much? But what I noticed about it that I thought was really cool was the JV page was funny, it was very funny. And then I don't know if you did this on purpose, but I felt like the sales page was like ironic. I felt like it was like there's some sarcasm there. It was kind of like
a little, like
it was almost formed like a one of these big successful software launches. It had the same kind of look and feel of one of those sales pages, and I thought you were kind of being sarcastic a little bit on it.
I must admit, I said to some friends of mine, I went, look, I said, the stuff that's selling on Warrior Plus, it's always the same format. The sales pages, the ones that are doing the big numbers. I said, I don't care what I launch next. I'm going to do a sales page like that.
I do, man. I thought, I think he's doing this on purpose to be sarcastic or something.
Yeah, but you know what? It worked, and I would do it again. I would do it again because, I don't like it, but the format works.
Yeah, man. That was funny, man. Yeah, and it was a cool product because it was just it was a very simple, straightforward method. It's so funny, man. Like I'll like beat my head up trying to figure out like, man, what is going to be the next home run? You know what I mean? And sometimes it's like, I don't know, man. It's just some simple little thing and people just love it. They just latch onto it and go,
I had a conversation with Mark Hess a few years back and I said, well, why don't you do info products? Because he would come to me and go, I've got an idea for an info product if you want to do it. Like giving it to me. And I go, why don't you do it? You already had the groundwork. And he just said, I just get bored with doing info products. He said, how many ways are there to tell someone build a list and mail it? How many ways are there to tell people put a product together and sell it? How many, and that's really
true.
That's the basics of marketing are simple. Yeah. And so I genuinely was getting all these people sort of going, oh, I've got this product of yours, but it's a bit too hard for me. And I'm thinking, fuck me, I can't make it any easier. So I went, okay, what's the most basic thing? And I just sat there and went, okay, eliminate product creation. So it's got to be affiliate.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, where else are you going to produce the money from? So, and then I went, okay, eliminate the fear of whether it will convert or not by telling them only promote stuff you know is converting. So that was that problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
Then what about where you put it? Well, all free traffic at the end of the day is a time investment. It's going out there and posting shit in different places and getting people to see it. That's all it is.
That's true.
And all these guys that are selling these things, when it makes me laugh when you see them bring out our products and they go, built-in traffic generation system. and what it means is they put a Facebook share button in it. So that they, you can share it to your friends and they'll all buy it or some nonsense. And I thought, okay, well, we'll just tell them where they can actually go to generate some stuff, whatever. But I will also tell them that it does involve some work.
Yeah.
And sure enough, you got a certain percentage of idiots that bought it that are all complaining it's too much work. But you're like, well, I can't have made it any idea. I said it was work, but it's easy work. It's like anyone can do this.
Man, that was sweet. You can't. It was very straightforward, man. You can't get any more straightforward. I thought it was inspirational personally because when I went through it and I was like, man, see, this is like, I need to be getting more like trim all this extra stuff down. It needs to get more like this, more streamlined, more straightforward. Just boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? It just felt inspirational to me. So I thought it was a really cool product, man. And,
thank you.
And it converted really well. So it was just funny about that conversion rate because like the JV page was like, I don't care what you guys do. This is a big joke to me.
Yeah. I was kind of, when I did the JV page, I was like, I have these conversations all the time. There's so much I don't like about the way launches get done and the fact that JV pages always talk about EPCs. And I'm like, how can they talk about an EPC? This is a product that hasn't even launched yet. You don't know how it's going to convert. Yeah. You haven't tested that copy even on your own audience. Because I know you haven't, because your sales page still isn't finished when the JV page goes up. So you can't tell me you know the EPCs. And all that stuff annoys me. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go and I'm going to go, right, okay, here it is. I don't know what the EPCs are going to be. I played it even dumber than that, whatever the hell fucking EPCs was, if I didn't know. And just, and it got the reaction that I wanted. The first version of it, I ran by Kurt and he went, are you sure? And if Kurt goes, are you sure? I go, okay, maybe I ought to rethink a little bit. And I sat down, I played the video back. I must have been a dozen times just watching it and going, what's wrong? What is it that's wrong? And there was one bit where I'd gone almost too negative. Because at the original video had a bit, it went, how about a contest? How about no? That was the line. It was like, how about no? I don't do contests. I think they're shit or something like that. And I cut that out, and then it played better. I just thought it went a little bit too negative. So I took them out, and then I put the page up, and I ran it by Kurt again. He went, well, I think you're taking a risk. I went, well, all comedy is a risk. Anything in marketing, you've got to take risks. And I said, well, I'm going to see what happens. So at first what I did was I quietly sent it to a few people that I knew would get the humor.
Yeah.
Got their reaction. Then I pinged it out to a couple more people who I wasn't sure, and their reaction was still good.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, let's go for putting it out to people that would really be critical. And I gave it to them and they loved it too. And I went, okay, it's the winner. Let's just go with it.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. That's cool, man.
It was calculated risk.
Yeah, calculated risk. And it's funny you mentioned that, man, because how do you create separation if you don't do anything different? If you can't, you know what I mean? How do you create impact if you're trying to be like everybody else all the time? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think everybody can pull it off, though. I think that you have, like, you're funny. Like, you can be funny. And, like, I sometimes I don't think I could pull that funny off like you did, man. So like I think you go negative, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. Mine will just get taken in a negative way.
The thing is it's just me being me.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I learned a few years ago. I always used to try and, I go, right, I'm doing a sales letter now. I've got to get in the mode of sales copy man. Yeah. And I'm doing this now, and I need to be this, and this is how you do it. And then one day I just realized that's bullshit, because if people buy from people they know, like, and trust, I can't be this persona all the time. I just need to be me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really am what you see is what you get. You know, it's just like I tell people what I think. I tell them straight. They don't have to like it. But I never mean, you know, and people go some of the stuff where, you know, I will attack a product or whatever, but it's always the product I attack, not really the person. You know, I've got a tremendous, people don't realize this, I've got a massive amount of respect for Brendan Mace.
Right.
Yeah, I've probably been more vocal than anyone about some of the shit he's released. But it's not always about the fact, you know, it's like, you know, VidChomper, which is just to put random bollocks together that's Creative Commons and slap a link on it. That's not going to make anyone any money ever.
Nope.
They just say, no, the premise is there. The premise is people who put videos on YouTube are making money. True. Absolutely true. People that do these videos are making true. Agree with that. If people don't like making videos, also true. How can we make it easy? We'll make a thing that just spits out shit. And that's what they did. And now I get it from a marketing point of view, but the leap for me was too big. It was too big.
That's the thing, man. Like it's that, like, that's gonna make you money when you put that out, because you know what's gonna get people fired up. But like, that's not really gonna help them. That's not gonna help them make any money. You know, it's at the end of the day, the end users. And you talked about this before, but like, the end user's not going to benefit from it. They're not going to get anything from it, man. It's not going to, you're going to walk away with another 100 G's, but like, these guys aren't going to, they're just going to flop again. They're more.
I know that I had a brief chat with Marlon Sanders one day, and he was saying that he'd spoken to Brendan in detail. And he said, because he was sort of saying to me, oh, you ought to talk to Brendan. You'll really like him. And I go, I don't doubt I'd like him. I just don't like a lot of his practices. And Marlon said that what he was doing, Brendan had realized that people like the dopamine hit of, you know, going through the thing. And his attitude was put a low end product in front of them, get them to buy it, and then sell up to those that you can. And I kind of see that because only a small percentage are action takers. But where my problem lies with it is I know that 95% of people that buy the Easy Affiliate Playbook are not going to do it.
Right.
I know that. But what I also know is the 5% who do, it will work for.
It will work.
And that's the difference. Yeah. That's the difference to me. It's got to be a viable product. And what they've done is taken it too far into, we'll put any pipe dream out there we like, and then we'll try and pitch to the people that are going to take some action to get them to spend more money. And I just think that the product you give them on the front end from the get-go should absolutely stand on its own. And that's
good, man. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. And you know, that's why I don't even hardly promote a lot of these softwares anymore. Just because I'm looking for information products that'll do something for people. Your softwares I will promote, but I already know, like, because there's an ethos behind it. You know what I'm saying? And also, I know you'll circle back around to information products. You're just putting out whatever the hell you want to put out. Like, whatever makes sense for you, that's what you're going to put out. That's why
I'm very what's the word? It's like attention deficit. I don't like focusing on any one thing for a really long time. So like, and I've normally got. Now I tell newbies not to do this. But I've normally got at least three projects on the go at any one time. The difference is all three will get completed at some point.
Yes. Yeah.
Where it's, you know, when I'm sort of guiding newbies on how to do it, I go, you've got to focus on that one thing and you've got to stick at it until it's fucking done and get it out there because otherwise they never will. But I'm at a stage where I can have 2 or 3 things on the go, and I have to because I get bored. Yeah. I mean, that Easy Affiliate Playbook, I think I did the initial book. And then I put that away and worked on some other project with Kurt. And then I probably 2 or 3 weeks later loaded it up and recorded the video. And then having done the video, I thought, oh, you know what? That upsell needs a bit more. So I opened up another thing and made another little presentation to cover the extra bits and recorded that the same day. And then I was like, okay. And then I left it about another week. And then I sat down and wrote the sales copy. And so it was done over sort of a few weeks here and there, do a bit and then leave it and work on something else and do a bit because I get bored. And if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have got done. I just burnt myself out and gone, oh, fuck it, you know.
You know what's funny? Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So that's why I do different things, just because I get bored.
Another thing I liked about that, now that you mention it, you're talking about contests. I remember back when I did Affiliate Rising Reloaded, I don't know, a while back, and I did a bragging rights contest. And I didn't know if it was going to work or not. And it freaking worked, man. It didn't matter. People still promoted it. And people actually were posting that they were on the leaderboard on Facebook and stuff, even though it was not for any money.
And that must be where I got the idea from. I knew I'd seen it somewhere before, but I couldn't remember who had done it.
I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I was just throwing it out there. I thought I might get clowned on when I did it. I thought people might be making fun of me or whatever. But then I saw that, you did it too. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, man. It's another bragging rights contest.
I probably got the idea from you without remembering, in all honesty. I know I'd seen it somewhere before.
Well, it worked though, because I wasn't the only one promoting your product. There was lots of people on your leaderboard promoting it.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, because sometimes you'll think, as a marketer, man, I need to offer the most amount of money that I can to get these affiliates on board. You know what I mean? And like, that was cool to me, man, to see that, because it was like, okay, it's not always about it's not always about the money. Sometimes it could just be about the competition. So
for me, affiliate contests have never motivated me one little bit. I mean, they're just like, and I look at them and go, well, to me, is the product good fit for my audience? Does it do what it says it'll do? Will they benefit if they buy it? Yes, they will. And I will benefit because I get paid a commission. That's great. So that's the value proposition done. So when there's a contest, I mean, the amount of times I get told, like a week after a launch has finished, someone messages me and goes, we need to pay you some prize money. And I go, I didn't even know there was a contest. And when I get these messages where people go, oh, you're number 2 and you're only 3 sales behind something. When I decide I'm going to promote something, I plan my promotion and I stick to it. It's very rare I will deviate and throw in an extra mailing. Now, very occasionally I have done. Yeah. But when I get these messages, because I know damn well the person that's messaging me saying I'm 3 sales behind, they're also messaging the person that I'm behind saying, Andy's only 3 sales behind you and he's probably going to mail again.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, so I just plan what I'm going to do and do it. And a lot of the time they send me the message and go, oh, if you mail again, I'm laughing because I'm thinking, well, there's already a mail queued up to go. So, and then they contact you and go, oh, you've won. And to me, it's like free money. I take prize money. Prize money goes, I quite often put it into a separate PayPal account and it just sort of collect it up and then go, oh, that's just for having fun money, that is. But some contests are just throwing money away, I think, a lot of the time. The people running them. I'm
thinking that too, man, because I did that, but then I saw you do it, and I'm like, wait, hold up now. See, I thought I was just trying another dumb idea and seeing what happened, but then I see some other people do it that's successful, making it work too, and it's kind of like, okay, see, this is cool, man, because it makes me think that, man, even if you're a new guy and you're trying to get it together, but because new people are weird, man. Like, they'll be afraid, I don't have the money to do a contest, or I don't want to do I've seen new people do a contest they really couldn't afford, and they were going to have to go out of their own pocket for it if the launch flopped. And but they were afraid to put minimums on there. And I always tell my students, man, hey, you got to protect yourself, man. Just put the minimums on there. If you want to do the contest, put the freaking minimums on there. It doesn't matter. But now I might just start telling them, hey, man, don't worry about it, man. Just do a bragging rights contest.
It certainly seems to work. And let's face it, that's a lot of it. That's why people do it. They like the glory of their name being on the top of the list when the person's posting it on Facebook or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
So,
I get
and all I did was I just said to people, well, you saw the JV video thing, and I just said, look, at the end of the day, the people that promote for me, you'll be at the front of my list for consideration, which is what I've always done. It doesn't mean I'll definitely promote for you, because it boils down to, is your product a good fit and is it right for my audience? That is always my number one priority. Obviously I have to make money. That's my business, but that's always the secondary thing. The secondary part is okay, and then that will naturally generate money. But in this industry, in this business, we deal with 50% and higher commission rates. that's unheard of anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I think to then put a contest on top with prize money and all this stuff, and I analysed a few of the big launches that got done, and obviously I don't know their exact figures, but you normally piece bits of the puzzle together by knowing at what point it said went to 1,000 plus, and you go, well, okay, so it took them that long to sell 1,000 units. And sometimes they'll say, you know, how many they sold in their final post on Facebook. And I was like going through thinking that launch has got 3 partners on it.
Yeah,
They paid out 50% commission. Now, okay, they would have made a few direct sales themselves, but then on top of that, they've paid out that much in prize money, and then they've taken what's left and divided it by 3. Those guys have just spent the last month working for minimum fucking wage, as far as I can tell. I mean, they've got a list, okay, but that doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't to me either, man. I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, wait a second, hold up here. There's 3 of you cats on this thing. I figured it out one time, like about a month ago for a launch, and it worked out to me like they all walked away with about $800 a piece.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, you got to be kidding me, dude.
Now that's okay if you're in the business of, right, I've made my $800 on that one, and then I'm going to launch another one 2 weeks later, which is where they fall into this rapid launch cycle, which you can't sustain. I couldn't generate a quality product every 2 to 3 weeks.
It'd be hard, dude. It'd be hard. I don't have that many ideas.
Yeah. Well, if you look, I mean, before this one, when was the last time I really did anything much on Warrior Plus? Ages ago. Yeah, it's just like as and when. Yeah.
You did the seed money thing. You did the seed money
I did that little one. Yeah, that was a little
not a big one, but yeah.
And that was an experiment more than anything else.
Did you know that Easy Affiliate Playbook was going to be as successful as it was, or did you have an idea, or were you just like, I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens?
I had an inkling. I had this idea that if I did the sales copy like all these people were doing the copy, but not quite as over the top as they were doing it, because I hate these. You know, I really don't like it when if a sales page is spending you more time telling you what the product isn't than what it is, there's something wrong. So I didn't want to do that, but I thought, well, we'll do that block where it's no this, no this, no this, no, but then we will tell them what it is.
Right.
And so it was a bit less blind than a lot of those other things. But no, I had no idea. I didn't expect it to do as well as it did. And it was a nice surprise when it did.
No doubt, no doubt.
But it did more than double what I thought it would do. So
it was cool, man. It was really cool. All right, man. Yeah, I've taken up enough of your time, dude. I really
enjoyed it.
I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me this morning.
Anytime, dude. Anytime. We ought to talk more often.
I freaking I was just kind of mad about the whole thing, and you know, I reached out to 3 people who I felt like knew something about these kind of situations, and but this has been a good conversation, man, because this really kind of solidified it for me about what was the best way to handle the situation. So yeah, that's awesome, dude. So thanks so much, Andy. I appreciate you, man.
Cool. Been good talking to you. Catch you again soon.
See you, man.
Cheers, Cam. Bye.